Good morning. It's about 6:07 a.m. I've been awake from a very nice nap since 4 this morning, cleaning the house up, organizing. This is the nutrient side. The baking, cooking ingredients. Got this beautiful fruit basket at the Goodwill. Cleaning up some dishes, organizing. Had this tarp, clear plastic tarp, that I was getting ready for the outside. Yesterday I was moving pots from the garage into the backyard, and in the middle of my job I had the law visit me. They heard about someone growing too much marijuana. I've been allowed to do it under these license, the 99 plant license. And then, since this 215 now passed, this is my homemade fruit fermented alcohol. Way too sweet. I put way too much sugar in it. I'm about to add more yeast. That's what I'm gonna do. Whew. Yeah, I'm not gonna rush it. I really should. Actually. Jeez. One packet's supposed to go in each bucket. Not gonna rush it. I'm gonna save that for this big batch. I'm gonna do a big 50-gallon champagne. Sparkly champagne. Fruity champagne. This is wine yeast. Sparkling wines. So yeah. Man, I've been really sampling my own supply. These are all empty bottles. Still got some gunk at the bottom. So anyways, I'm excited about that 5-gallon brew. Oops. Those 5-gallon buckets, they all have a different taste. I'm thinking just dump it all. Well, first I got to boil some water, because I want to make sure the water is in that pot, in this pot. Make sure everything's sanitary. I'm gonna post this right here so you'll have a good view of me. There I am. Almost. Where am I? So yes. I'm happy that I didn't get booked. Everything could have been different. We play our hands, cards, no matter what the flock, turn, and river is. And the wrong look could change things. You hear me? I'm not asking for war more than what we've been in. We, as a system, fighting the black market, illegal money, immigration, no track records, funny business, if you want to call it. Prostitutes not paying their taxes. Pimps are abusing their powers. I have this house in my own name since 2010. Oh man, what a ride, baby. I'm excited. I don't quit. I'm not a quitter. I'm happy that that I finally lost. As much as I've been winning, as much as I've been wanting to keep winning and do my thing. Still here, baby. Still here. I know about y'all, but I'm still here. It's funny when you've got people in your business trying to control your work, but don't even know what's going on. Asking you the questions of what is this and what's that and what's going on. Oh, God. Back to 2010. My dad dies when I'm 15 years old. I actually just started freshman year, high school. I just transferred to a brand new school. I was getting really competitive with sports, basketball, and I wanted to transfer to a bigger, more competitive school. I wasn't allowed to go to a public school. I had to go to a private school. And really, I wasn't even allowed to leave my small little private school I was already going to, since I've been going there since pre-K through 8th. And both of my brothers are going there. They've been going there since pre-K. Everybody's really family out there. So anyways, I transferred to a bigger high school. I start school that week. Dad's been in the hospital. Dad's been laying in bed drinking vodka for like 3-4 years, since 2001. He comes back from this hunting trip when I was 10 years old with his best friend brother that he used to sell vacuum cleaners for. and they all come back. He had like this messed up leg. Something happened up in those mountains. I mean, he had burnt his leg to the bone, and so he was just down. Shot a deer, but he didn't shoot it right or something. I don't know what happened. And then he turned the deer into sausage meats, and that wasn't good. He didn't like that. Bottom line, whatever happened with business and that hunting trip, man, he just really picked up the bottle, if that makes any sense. And I feel like my dad's been set up in many ways. And even me, wanting to go see him at the hospital that very last month of August. I was being informed other information. And instead of me visiting him or going over there, it's like I wasn't even allowed to, or was being avoided. At the same time, I didn't want to see my father dying. But everybody was telling me he's about to be in rehab. He's about to get a full body transformation. He's going to come out better than ever. This is like 2 weeks go by. First week of August, second week of August, I don't see my dad at all. The only time I get to visit him was when I was informed that he only has a day or two to talk. And then the next 4 or 5 days, he won't be able to even talk at all right before he goes out of business. I don't think he even knew what was going on. That's the sad part. So I'm being told one thing, he's probably being told another thing. This big mess, and I'm starting college, I'm starting high school. Man, sports, picking up. And it's not like I was really close to my father. I understand why he never wanted to get too close. He knew he wasn't on this earth to raise me. He definitely laid a foundation in the beginning. Since I was 4 years old, buying me a BB gun. Me learning how to use that trigger. Taking it away, well, not him. I was shooting too many birds. And then I found it at 6 years old. Or was I supposed to find it? I was cleaning all his guns since I could remember. Make sure they're nice and oiled. Not rusty. The 22, tiny little banger, the 38 special, short stock, the 9mm Beretta, 15 rounds, with I think one in the chamber. So it makes it 16 rounds. Before they legalized it, because now you can't even have a Beretta with more than 10 rounds. The law has 12, I think. They don't want you to be able to outfire the law. Anyways, had an old Mauser. The shelling expanded and it blew up in the chamber on one of those 4th of July's, and it never worked. But I still loved to oil it down. 30-aught special pump. Nice scope on it. That was a sniper round. .22 long rifle. 16 gauge. Side by side. Not over and under, side by side. 16 gauge. Very cool. 12 gauge. Bolt action. I was shooting traps at 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, competitively, right where Hagen Oaks is, right across the street, Hagen Oaks. They used to have a trap shooting place, and I really got into it. But I was shooting out of that bolt action, and when you're shooting traps competitively, you've got 4 stations, 25 shots at each station, and there's no rest. So I'm shooting 25. I shoot like 22 out of 25 first round, 23 out of 25 second round, third round. I'm halfway through the third round, and the bolt action got so hot on me, I clicked the trigger, and it would fire a second later. So I click, ready for the shot, and then it would shoot. So I go from like 3rd place. I remember I was right there with some girl that had a really good shot, and we were going for 3rd place. And as soon as it started misfiring, that was it. I started missing. It wasn't even safe to shoot anymore, and that was that. So anyways, I had Grandpa's gun as well in that stave. Grandpa had a single, 1 shot. Excuse me. This coffee. So anyways, loved cleaning his guns. Almost killed my father on accident in Roseville. When we moved from Newcastle, we had 5 acres up in Newcastle. And it was too far for us to drive to school every day. We tried to live up there for like 6 months. We loved it. I loved it. My father loved it. It was a little too far from my mom to commute. And we had houses out here in Sacramento City. And we could have made it all work. But anyways, everything's for the better now that I look back. So he is in Roseville. As soon as he leaves the 5-acre place, and in Roseville, we bought a house in Roseville, zeroed down at that one time when everything was zeroed down, this and that. And so we got a brand new model built home for $350,000. Way overpriced, I think, at the time, or something like that. I don't know how it all worked. Or no, it was zeroed down interest until like 2-3 years later. And then 2-3 years, boom, they hit you with the interest. So with all that said, Dad is picking up the bottle like no other. Sad, probably, that he's not up in the 5-acre place. We had our own pond, stocked with koi, bass, cats, catfish. We had, honestly, I look at it now, it was more like 40 acres. We just didn't know. It was zoned for 5. And it was like this super cheap property for like $140,000 at the time. We couldn't believe it. It just went on the market and we were able to get it at the right time. Thank you, Florin. This guy, a realtor, Florin, helped out my father. So yes, Roseville, I feel like, oh yeah, where I almost killed my father. I was cleaning downstairs the guns. He's in his room upstairs, drinking away the pain. Not being happy, not being satisfied. Something was being negative. Because I finally understand it. If things are not aligned right, the alcohol isn't the problem. It's how you enjoy the alcohol. And it's nobody to blame. I mean, my fault, if anything. I probably annoyed him too much, probably got on his nerves, probably pissed him off more than ever. Probably caused him to start drinking more. Not being a good son. I do know he loved roller coasters. I do know he loved to scuba dive. I do know he loved to travel, fly. I do know my dad was one of the most outgoing, adventurous, good energy. Only time I've seen him angry was if somebody tried to come over to the house one time. Some sprinkler guy. It was like a cash job. And he needed his fix. He was doing drugs, I think. Well, I know, because he came over for some money. And Dad wasn't happy with the work. He didn't even finish the work. I don't think he even did half the work. I don't know what was going on, but bottom line. Dad whips out his 38 special, puts it right up to his head. Like, you motherfucker, get off my property. You know, I'm about to blow your head off. So my father was a very, very happy person. There was no need for drama, bad energy. And he spoke very good English. So he really had a great, successful American business life. Started an insurance company in '96. Started a construction company. He had a construction license in like '94, I think. Never really went into business. Insurance started doing really well. That's right after him selling Kirby vacuum cleaners for his first boss in America. And he was very, very successful with that. Had a lot of fun. Insurance, he got into that, started working for Cost-U-Less. And a year later, after Cost-U-Less, he was doing so well with his perfect English, as good as it gets. He had a lot of Russian business, helping them get the right insurance. And he started his own office location. He even bought a book of business to start off with for like $30,000 or something. So anyways, he's got the insurance location. A couple years later, he's got not only a Sacramento insurance location, he's got, I think it was 2 Stocktons and 1 Modesto. So he really expands, wanted to make that move. Business was going well. Excuse me. Anyways, my father got set up from day one with buying a book of business that wasn't even secured. He signed a yellow page ad. He had a full page ad for, I think it was all 4 locations: Modesto, Stockton, whatever it was, or maybe it was just Modesto and Stockton. I don't remember exactly what it was or how it worked. Bottom line, one number was off, or they had the competitors' insurance company's phone number instead of my father's. And he signed off on it, not double checking, from what I understand. And the $100,000 advertisement for that whole year, he's not going to pay it. They tried to put him on collections. He didn't know how collections worked back then. You need to do a bankruptcy, you need to clean things up, or you got to just, bottom line, he really started drinking, especially after that as well. And the construction company, he really had a successful approach to it with the commercial side. He did commercial construction. When I say he did it, he had crews, Russian crews. And within those crews, they would go do outside EIFS stucco installation. So instead of your chicken wire netting or masonry brickwork or whatever, he's strictly focused on a foam, this 2-inch foam that you plaster on to the outside of dealerships, Walmarts, grocery stores, whatever job you can find on these. You're bidding against other construction people in the same field. So he was doing $100,000 to $300,000 jobs, and it was that momentum. You got to build your crews, your name, business, this and that, and the economy as well was in his favor as he was growing. So anyways, 2004. So by 2004, so he starts drinking really hard, 2001. 2000 is when we had that 5-acre Newcastle place. A year later, well, half a year later, my dad had an addiction. I'm not going to get into it, but he broke it at that Newcastle place. That Newcastle place gave him so much motivation to live life that he cleaned up. And then 6 months later, he moved to Roseville to be closer. So I don't know what the fuck he wanted to get close to. I feel like he had no option. He should have been living up in that 5-acre place. Instead, we ran out the 5-acre place to some couple where the guy was a fisherman. Loved to fish. Anyways, rented out that place for a couple years. Roseville was even worse. He wasn't happy there, so he moved back to the old house where we used to live, Bell Street. Marconi and El Camino, Bell Street. So, 2000, 2001, he's back at Bell Street house. This is moving from Newcastle to Roseville, back to the house, and this is unbelievable. Before Newcastle, there was our first original property on Bell Street. From Bell Street, we moved next door because we bought their house. Mom was trying to run her daycare business out of this one house where we're trying to live in this next door house. And then from there, we bounced to another place. Oh, God have mercy. I think that might have been so depressing, moving around so much, that God have mercy. Some people just don't know what they want in life. And they're bouncing back and forth. Not happy, not satisfied. Or ever will be. Because all they need is that commotion. Because they love that commotion. They love the noises maybe. Maybe they love the angerment, maybe the bad vibes. I don't know what it is, but people love energy. Of course, who doesn't want energy? But it's the way you're going to present the energy and accept the energy. So anyways, especially with my father's, when he was growing up, he didn't have the most happy vibes, if that makes any sense. He'd been through a lot. So, yeah. Looking at the picture now, Dad had no chance. I can't be in that daycare setting. It's unbelievable. The screaming, the yelling. It's just not normal. So, insurance business, construction business, 2001, Dad gets back from the deer hunting trip. He was really down, and he was like a brother to him. Wanted to get him out of the house, take him hunting. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened. But anyways, gets back from the hunting trip. I just got my hunting license. We start hunting a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. Every season. Pheasants. Pheasant hunting. That was our thing. And rabbits was year round. So we'd shoot jackrabbits. Doves. We had our moments for doves. Bottom line, my dad and I had a really, really close connection with guns, and even went fishing for sturgeon a few times. So 2004, I just transferred to high school, freshman year. Dad wants to get fixed. He didn't want to throw in the towel. And he waited to the very last minute. To the very end. So yes, freshman year, Dad passes away. And the insurance company is just running on its own, if that makes any sense. There was no money coming in, there was no money being made. If anything, my mom would, I guess they would call her and ask for some money to bail them out a couple times a year, but they would always pay her back. And at the same time, I think she had a little bit of something coming her way once in a while. I don't know how it all worked out. But there was like $10,000 in payroll. So all the money was just going into other people's pockets. Agent, the bookkeeper. The bookkeeper was bookkeeping the construction company, the insurance company, and then he was being like a customer service as well. Bookkeeper's wife was a full-time customer service there. The agent was getting a little bit more. Well, the agent wasn't working on commission. The agent was getting set pay because there was no more business to run. It was more of just the business was slowly dying off. Everybody was in their routine, settling, being comfortable. That's what happens when something is not yours, or even if it's yours. Just in general, this world, I mean, we are settlers. So I see that there's no more of that hunger that we don't see it, because not saying you're not a hero if you're not hungry for to achieve, but we're losing that competitive spirit. So anyways, I love the law. I really do. I love my brothers and sisters. Because it's like we're well, we're all on the same team until I have my permits, or we are on the same team. It's like, and I have to have my permits, I have to keep things legal, but we're all working together. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, it was a little bit different with this marijuana and this and that. But at the same time, you got your alcohol prohibition. We're all working together at the same time. It's like, man, things are not working with us. It's like we're fighting each other. We're shutting each other down. And you got your Trumps that have no way out. I mean, we got the government trying to bail people out. I mean, giving out Medicare system program. For what reasons? We're wasting all this energy when we should just focus on the sprouts, focus on the seeds, focus on the new beginnings. So anyways, 2010, I buy the house using my father's insurance business. Bank history. Yes, I have my own credit history, I have my own credit scores, but I was using my dad's business to be able to build up my credit scores, to be able to build up my, when I say using my dad's businesses, it's not like that was my game plan from the beginning. And 18 years old, I just started senior year in high school. This is 2008. So 2007, bottom line, I turned 18, and it's not like my mom was like, hey, get a credit card. I don't think any of my brothers had a credit card till they were like 20, 21, 22. I don't know. They all don't have the same ambitions as I had for money, if that makes any sense. I think nobody has the same ambitions. We're all a little bit different for life. So, nothing wrong with wanting to live at home, milking your mommy. But as much as I can't wait to get off these programs and have my own successful job and this and that, I have no option at the moment. I have to go to my only source, which is the government that knows I have my issues. We always have our issues. I really had some issues in the beginning because now I look at it, I was a little bit frustrated, maybe mad. Punched a few holes in the wall, excuse me, ventilating. Now I realize there's no point of showing your emotions or acting out on any, well, bad energy. Good energy, who doesn't want to act on good energy? But bad energy, you just gotta let that go. Don't even think about it. Be cold-hearted towards bad energy. So, as much as you have to still pay attention and make sure things are done right, you don't want to just ignore issues. I talk like a philosopher. I talk like somebody that really knows what he's talking about, which I don't. How much could you know at 28? And at the same time, do we as humans even communicate? God have mercy. So again, the house 2010, I build up my credit history, this and that. At 18, in high school, I was graduating high school with 2 credit cards. I had a $1,000 credit card line, which that's really rare. And even have a $1,000 credit card, you had to put $1,000 cash at that. You had to secure it with your own money. And even you can't get that kind of a big credit line. So right off the start, I started right. I was only supposed to get like $400 or $500. Instead, I got $1,000. And then the second one, same thing, with the same bank. They gave me another couple thousand. So anyways, I graduated. Oh yeah, I didn't even get started on, I got my brokerage license, my agent's license, my senior year in March. Right after I got done with basketball. I couldn't wait to finish basketball. I wanted to get to business. I wanted to start making money. I wanted to make moves because I knew basketball, anything could happen. And that's it, your career's over. So I didn't want to hold myself up for a few years, graduating by 22, whether I was hooping or not, whether I had a basketball career or not. And well, my body was already so banged up from all that activities that, and I was so done playing for someone who doesn't even know what they're doing. Uh, Everybody wants a place in this world, and some that have no business in that place. For the most part, a lot of people are wanting to be in that place, and it's just frustrating. And then you got people like me that understand the industry, that are growing hard, that got all this dialed in, that are scientists in their own ways, that are always experimenting, never settling, always bored in their own ways, trying to find something more exciting. Know that that their place is full of other places, and they've got things that are God have mercy. The money maybe is the only thing that is not on their side at the moment that will change everything. Let's say even if you're like a Jesus, you want peace on earth, but at the same time you can't wait to turn over the chapel and the churches, cause a chaos because they're selling, collecting, doing whatever. And I'm sure Jesus was ready to drop a bomb on that motherfucking chapel. And even with that, Jesus being able to, he's Jesus. He's a lover. He's not going to. He's going to go in there, talk to every single person, or at least understand what they want, one way or another, with technology and programs, let's say nowadays. And for the most part, as dangerous as we all sound, as evil as we all might make it look, we're all soft. We're all big babies. We all have a heart. We all want to love. We all want to succeed. We all want to do better. Yes, corruption gets the best of us. Yes, power's overwhelming. And yes, money makes us very, how do I say this, gaudy, if you want to call it. You hear me? Fabrics, clothes, cars. Makes you feel good, feeling yourself. And yes, there's times where it gets the best of us. But you know what? It really shows who we are. Life is so beautiful. I don't know what the point of these videos. Bottom line. How do I even have this house in my own name? With these credit scores building, this is 18. I just got in senior year, I get my agent's brokerage license in March. I actually almost got in trouble. Not knowing all these rules, but treasoning for missing too much school. And not only missing school, but working. And I was a senior, so I was getting out half the day, and I couldn't wait to get in the office. By my senior year in May, I fired the customer service, both people. There was the wife of the bookkeeper and this other girl, part-time customer service. I fired them to save on that employment money, collect that money now, not collect it, but put it back in the business. There was no money collecting, everything was going back in the business. And the bookkeeper eventually couldn't wait to get out of the seat, couldn't wait to move on, and that saved me quite a bit of money. He had a payroll from construction company, helping out a little bit, insurance company. Anyways, they move out of state. And by the time I graduate, I am the bookkeeper. I am the customer service. And I have an agent that's getting way overpaid, that's not writing any business. She was just sitting there helping the clients and customers that have been there for years. A very old business that has a lot of family and friends, really, it's all family and friends. A lot of them are. That everybody's from the same city back in Russia, same town, not even city. They're all friends. So, anyways, my mom's friends. So, anyways, summer comes around. I graduate. I walk. The last month of school, I couldn't miss one day of school. If I miss one day of school, I don't graduate. I don't get my diploma. I get in trouble. So I see how I didn't know how serious it was, or I get how serious it is, because I was missing literally like 3-4 days a week. I was only showing up just to take the test, whether it was a vocab test or Bible verse test or whatever it was. It was usually Fridays. So, anyways, video's getting too long. I want to make sure it's uploading and everything. Bottom line, senior year, graduate, summer comes along, the agent finally decides to quit and start her own business, insurance business. And I was August, my birthday. I just got back from Hawaii with my high school sweetheart and her parents, and I just had the best vacation of my life. That was the last vacation I've had so far since everything been going on. Me going to Vegas 2 weeks ago, trying to find a job, walking on the streets this whole time, trying to stay up and not get caught sleeping, because that was like illegal out there, is not a vacation. 2014, going to LA, trying to get back into this acting, was not a vacation, because sleeping in a dumpster in LA and then trying to run away to Vegas again, apparently where I spent so much money, it was not a vacation. That's not the vacation I'm talking about. Anyways, nothing is nobody's fault. The best part about everything is I've learned a lot and understand now so much. It's never too much, but so much. So, I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret. I don't want to be a rat. I do love to preach in my own ways, and at the same time, this is a good story, I feel like. I'm kind of writing my outline for my movies, documentaries, publishings, fictions, non-fictions. And people can do all the work for me. I'm excited. Just like this farming industry, I've been preparing something major for big level. Not only me understanding the whole concept, but putting people to work. Just like the insurance businesses that my father started and gave a lot of people opportunities. Out of my father's insurance business, there's about 5-6 other business locations that started their own companies that are doing their own things. All Russian. So it's exciting to see what my father was able to inspire, really motivate, give people. So, bottom line, 2008, I get back and I'm going hard with this business. 2008, yeah. Just graduated, summer, just got back from Hawaii, agent finally gone, and I'm all alone in that office now. Customer service, taking over 2 different people, agent. That wasn't really, she was a customer service as well. God have mercy, $3,500 a month customer service. The bookkeeper, $2,500 bookkeeper, which we already had, the business had a bookkeeper that was doing payroll and this and that outside of this business. So it was a little bit confusing of all this money that was getting washed up. There was too much paper, it was all files. There was a bunch of file paperwork. All the business in those file cabinets were either old, not even there, or God have mercy, the business was upside down. So at 18 years old, graduated high school, catching on quick. I mean, we're talking customer service positions as a senior, still going to high school, got my broker's license, learning the bookkeeper's work and job within those 8 weeks, again, as I'm going to high school, at 18, not understanding anything of this business, and then 2 months later, let go of the agent, the broker. No hard feelings. I'm being happy. My spirit's a little sad. Especially for my father being mistreated. The man didn't do anything wrong. I look now at the system, at our president, Trump. He's not just fighting for America, for himself, or he's not just fighting for America and the system, government. I hope, if anything, he's fighting only for himself, knowing that if he doesn't make it, nobody will. Does that make any sense? If we're going to really make America ever great, because I don't recall now from the histories, we've had wars, we had prohibitions, we've had civils, we've had rules and regulations changing for not the best. I mean, we've had downs and downs and downs and downs and downs with economies, with the systems, with these helps, with the everything. I mean, I'm not going to be getting mad and frustrated and start yelling. I might scream a little outburst after this video. I got raided yesterday, February 2nd, 2002. February 2nd, the 22nd of February, 2018, 4:00 p.m. I was moving the garage, big pots, outside with cannabis plants. I had 4 in each pot. And I started this from seeds, in the house, under lights, back in September, preparing these girls to be growing. And I took the garage roof off. I don't have the money to pay for the electricity and the bills and this and that. And last year, I was somewhat kind of preparing for this big grow operation and the rules. And I know farmers need plants and everybody wants to grow and this and that. Again, the system is just not on the same page or a little too slow or whatever it is. Well, I don't know whose pockets are in the way. But I thought maybe this year was going to be better. So anyways, last year, not having a good, the rules, the laws, the regulations, nothing's going in effect. Nothing's working in our favors. You got farmers that want to do it right, that are, Anyways, the house. So I buy it at the worst possible times. 2010. I think it was 2009 even. Yes, I bought it in 2009. Jeez. At 19 years old, I think I was 19 years old. The moves that I was making in 2008, 2009, 2010 was legendary. And then you have this big 2010 to 2018. war, battle with my own, not ratting, but I'm a Christian. Don't ever hold that against me. When I say Christian, Christian doesn't mean anything special. It means you are gonna act out a little different. You're gonna follow your commandments. You hear me? There's just this connection, of course, with higher power, spirits, this and that. Everybody has their own views and connections and this and that. Long story short, in general, marijuana, drugs, is looked down upon. And I was set up from the very start. But I look back now, not only did it save my life, but I'm able to now be a different example. Understand what goes on now. Understand how people are getting set up left and right and can't do anything about it. They don't have the knowledge or wisdom to even speak right. And they're being completely set up, thrown into a system just to become whatever it is they want them to become. It's sad. Instead, giving an opportunity, giving an option, better way out. It's funny that me as a leader, thinker, thinking for the general public, as a captain wants to think for that whole ship, not thinking narcissistic, not thinking just for myself, thinking for the big picture. We're not understanding what we are doing. It's so sad. And instead of realizing that, man, we got to get these seeds growing right, I don't see ARC, American River Community College, doing much. Teachers are like 70 years old on life support. And whose fault is that? The 30s and 40s that should be teaching us are either drugged up, lost their jobs, are in depressions, are on some mental pill, some antidepressant, where these pills actually make us more depressing because of these side effects. When the marijuana that I'm finally understanding isn't going to save or change anything, but gives us a different look on life. Whether it's this deep thinking now and understanding that, man, we really got to pay attention to the green grass outside and not our 9 to 5. And once we grasp that, whether it's not even has to be, it doesn't have to be some drug, whether we grasp that just with maturity in general, which I see maturity has nothing to do with it. You're either born or you're either born on, right? If that makes sense, or you're not there at all. And you're just loving your 9 to 5, or whether it's a 9 to 9 to 9 to 9. Some people just don't know how to relax. Some people don't know how to vacation. It's unreal, the psychopaths that are controlling this universe. And we're not allowing, not that we don't have, we're not allowing JFK's, Martin Luther's in the business, in this world. I mean, this is unbelievable. You hear me? My dad was the next Russian president, if that makes any sense. Russian American president. I mean, God have mercy. Out here in Sacramento, the number one. My dad immigrated from Russia, 1990, with no fluent English. By 96, He had a construction and an insurance company. By 2001, he had, I think, over 10 properties, real estate properties. Couldn't do any of this without my mother. And all those credit lines. And I couldn't do anything without my father and mother. Now and then. With the business, with the private education, with the better raisings, with having a different view on humans, not being